So there are some similarities, as you mentioned, about Rockhaven and Under One Roof. One is dealing with the cultural difference, coming out, and Rockhaven is have to do with religion. So I imagine that is a really difficult subject to.
It was,
undertake.
it was. It's, and like Under One Roof and Rockhaven were both had minefields. They were kind of like, because like even. Like when you have an Asian, Caucasian romance, that can be a minefield too, because various folks react differently to a scenario like that. And so we tried to really be careful with that. And religion is just like off the charts, explosive. And so when I first broached this idea of Rockhaven to people, people just said, I don't want to hear about this, and I think the country's, I think the country's changed a little, it just in the past few years where I think people, gay folks and everyone's beginning to realize that, hey, wait a second, religion is not the exclusive domain of conservative religious folks, is that that gay folks have strong beliefs too, and it's but there was just such, it was just, and which is not to say it's just that tension has disappeared, that the religious thing is still it's explosive material, but it was kind of scary, because I didn't know how people were going to react, and and we didn't shy away from in sensuality, we have very sensual images in Rockhaven, and coupled with scenes of people in church and crosses and things like this, and but I felt that was the point of the film, is that if you're a gay person and you believe in God and want to go to church and that's really important to you, then you should be able to do that. Those shouldn't be mutually exclusive things, and so that's why we just kind of put all this in the cauldron, and believe me, it got huge reaction. I mean, both good and bad. I mean, people really got upset with it, and some people loved it, and and I think that's a measure that we were doing something right there, because we wanted to provoke and have it, not to provoke just for the heck of it, but to really have something that's thought-provoking and make people think about things. And so
does a different region in the U.S. reacted differently than, let's say, in the Bay Area, which is much more liberal part of the U.S.?
It was really interesting on the festival circuit, I was afraid that the big cities wouldn't want to, because you do have your liberal folks here, obviously, and I thought there wouldn't be much interest from them, but but the big city, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, these really big festivals really embraced the film. I think they saw that, I think they got it. I think they understood that, hey, there's some really fertile ground for discussion there for some, and that this was an important story to tell, and I think they saw that. And then some of the Middle West festivals kind of some of them shied away from it. I don't think they, and I found that really interesting, because I thought they would just embrace it all the way, and it's it just goes to show you can't predict what a reaction, and you can't make something to go okay, what's the reaction going to be, or be afraid of, you have to just follow your heart and try to tell the story you want and let it go from there, and that's kind of what we did. And